Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of unboxing things that I've gotten over the last week and have not gotten around to unboxing yet. This came with the last shipment, or with the last box I opened, so this is actually box 2 of 2. The other one was box 1 of 2. That was the Odaichi. And I actually, while I was in the process of buying that, that was certainly kind of the big ticket item. I decided to pick up a bunch of random things to kind of add to my armory. Most of these are on the lower end. These are things that I'm not really expecting to use, and they're not extremely practical in many respects, but I want to have them as examples. So when I'm doing tours of my armory and I'm talking to people about stuff, because every once in a while I have someone come over to my house and they like to look at weapons, I like to talk about them. I like to talk about different things, and so I wanted to add some items to my armory. I wouldn't call many of these functional in a lot of different ways, so don't hate on me too much. I will note that many of these are not medieval European. Some of these are actually just useful things. Some of them are representations of other types of weaponry. While some of them are probably truly functional, it's not really my intent to ever really use them, and I was not spending a lot of money on them. So call these kind of like cheap budget placeholders until I can find one that I want to buy for permanence. One that I want to buy to actually, truly add to my collection as a good collector, not as someone who's just buying all the cheap stuff they can. But certainly, I will admit that as we go through this unboxing, you will find that a lot of this is just kind of the cheap stuff, nothing really special. Oh, and there's so many boxes inside of boxes here. So let's see here. And I'll explain my process in buying these things and why I purchased them. As I go through, just in case you're like, what were you thinking? Well, I'll tell you what I was thinking on some of these items. Let's see here. All right. We're going to start with these items. And I got this for 2 to 1. I can't for the life of me remember what these are actually called, but they are essentially practice swords for Japanese sword arts. Comes with little cheapo, I don't even look like plastic tubas that you'll put on. I really wanted these just so I could show people what the difference is really between the types of things that we use in HEMA for practice. Sorry, I have a cat making a lot of noise over there. What people are using in HEMA versus what is used traditionally. So there we go. And I'm sorry, I forgot what those are even called. They're Japanese practice swords. I'm sure someone will again in the comments tell me, come on, you know what that's called. It's called a block. All right. I also got just a wooden sword holder, kind of placeholder. It's got the exact same kind of cheap plastic fake tsuba, but again, it's comparing what is very traditionally used to like some basic form practice wooden swords. Placeholders, a lot of these, and cheap things I can just add to my collection and say, well, this is, while it's something I don't use in my martial arts, it's something that people do tend to use. This box, I'm not even going to bother opening because I already have one of these. You can actually see it kind of in that back corner holding up my katana. It is just another actual sword stand. I got this specifically to be able to have a stand for my Odaichi. Put it right next to my katana. Be a nice little beautiful layout there. I bought this super cheap karambit. There you go. It's super cheap. I bought this because there's been a lot of conversations that come up because karambits are very interesting to people, I guess. And being able to hold one and talk about how they're actually supposed to be used is better than not having the prop. This is a United Cutlery sword. It's a cheapo, or sword. United Cutlery knife. It's cheapo. Yeah. I swear I wouldn't normally buy this type of thing, but I have reasons for this, and it has mostly to do about talking, getting people interested in a lot of these kind of interesting uses of weapons that aren't just guns. What is this? I have no idea what this is. How to find out. It's the problem when you go on a buying spree. You don't always remember what all you bought. Oh yes, that's right. These are my cheapo nunchucks. They are cheapo. I think they were like $10. The great thing about a $10 pair of nunchucks is that you can talk about nunchucks as much as you could with a really, really nice pair of nunchucks. Cheap, 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 cheap. But they're going to go in with my kind of Asian martial arts collection. Again, because I'm not a heavy practitioner of those martial arts, I have it more as a placeholder, as a conversation piece, and less as a practical functional thing. And this last one I bought because I actually have a video I want to do on it. People may have seen this and have talked about it. I'm hiding it a bit so I can actually get it out here. And that is the Cyclone style blade dagger. If you have never seen this type of dagger before, this has been all over social media, Facebook, all these things, talking about how this is the most dangerous blade. It will leave grievous wounds that no one can recover from, etc. The reason I purchased this, besides it being a good conversation piece, is I actually want to do a video at some point talking about stab wounds and the impact of blade shape on that, because this is a weird twisty blade design, and that will certainly have an impact on what happens. But I want to talk about what it looks like when you use like a regular dagger versus like a knife, like a kind of standard thick spine to sharp edge knife, versus something like a stiletto, which is three-sided and leaves a different type of wound. And what that actually means for the person who actually gets stabbed, more so in the context of the Middle Ages to Renaissance period. But talking about this modern one is a good way of saying, well, let's use some examples and actually show what it looks like in something that it approximates, human flesh, to show like this is what a stab will look like with this particular type of blade. I find it also very interesting as a conversation piece that this looks a whole heck of a lot like a rondel dagger in terms of just overall design. Very interesting. So I had reasons for buying these things, and normally I wouldn't just buy these random things, but I had ideas and things I wanted to talk about, and so I picked up especially these two items to kind of have conversation pieces from different respects on what these weapons really mean, not just modern age, but how we can reflect them to my interest of historical martial arts, as well as understanding of how bladed weapons were actually used to inflict damage on other people, which sometimes I think we forget when we talk about swords a lot, that a few hundred years ago, the purpose of these things was very, very clear, and now we use them in a much more fanciful manner in some ways. And so I like to every once in a while get back to reality and talk about these things. So interesting. This one is actually a lot more interesting in holding it than I would have thought it would be. It looks very interesting. I'm curious to see what I can do with it when I start doing a video on that. I don't know when I'm going to do those videos. It's been on my to-do list for a long time, but honestly, I've needed some extra items like this to play around with to begin having that conversation. So that is unboxing number 2. I have 2 more unboxings on the way. They are not really sword related. The next couple of unboxings, they're more specialized, but I still want to do them. I figure they make fun videos. So yeah, that's my random unboxing of all sorts of random crap that I bought. None of it really high quality, most of it pretty cheap. This is United Cutlery, by the way, as well. But it is a steel. It's not stainless, I don't believe. It's a halfway decent high carbon steel. I could be wrong about all of that. I'll double check it. But anyway, yep, cool stuff. See you next time. Oh, and as an addendum to that last unboxing a couple weeks ago, I picked up some Chinese hook swords. And these are stainless steel, which made me very angry. So I didn't post the unboxing for it because when I bought it, it said it was high carbon spring steel. And then they sent me stainless steel. And I'm pretty sure I didn't buy them in this stupid ninja black color. In fact, I'm pretty sure I got completely ripped off with these, and I was not too happy about it. But now I've got some random Chinese hook sword-like objects. Hooray.